Alright guys, so I'm going to help you out with page 453 and 454. Remember, we're only doing numbers 1 through 15. So I'm going to work out just a couple of these because honestly I think you guys can get it once you get the hang of it. So if we look, it says evaluate each expression if m equals 2, n equals 16, and p equals 1/3. So for number 1, all we're going to do is we're going to go right here where it says m plus 10. And instead of m, I'm going to write what m equals, which is 2. So that means I'm going to write 2 plus, and what was over here? 10. So what's 2 plus 10? Hopefully you guys can figure that out. It's just 12, right? There we go. For number 2, let's try it again. It says n divided by 4. So what does n equal? Well, n's up here, right? And it says n equals 16. That means I'm going to do 16 divided by 4. What is 16 divided by 4? It would just be 4, right? So I'm going to go skip over to number 7. So these are pretty quick, guys, once you get the hang of it. Should I do 7 or should I do 8? Let me do 8 for you guys, because that one looks like it might be a little confusing and it'll help you with number 9. So 8 says 9, and when there's a letter next to a number or a variable, 9 and p, that means they're multiplying by each other. So I'm going to rewrite this as 9, and then inside this p, I am going to, actually, you know what? Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger so I can write better. So again, we do have 9p squared, and I'm just going to say 9 times whatever is p, and p over here tells me it's 1/3. So I'm going to say 1/3, and then I'm going to click something I shouldn't have, and then I'm going to say squared, right, to the second power. So if I'm doing order of operations, I got to do PEMDAS, right? Parentheses first, then exponents. So do I have exponents? I do. I have them right here. So I need to do that next. So I have 9 times whatever 1/3 times 1/3 is. So let's do that. 1/3 times 1/3. Well, that equals 1 times 1 is 1. And 3 times 3 is 9, right? So now I have 9 times 1/9. How do I multiply a whole number by a fraction? Well, all I do is turn my whole number into a fraction by putting it over 1. So now if I multiply this across, I would get 9 over 9, which is the same as 1, right? And I want to remind you guys that you can actually, let me see if I get my tools over here, cross cancel here too, which I love doing because it makes my math easier. So when I had 9 over 1 times 1/9, I can cross cancel these guys, right? This becomes 1, 1. So all I have is 1 times 1, which is 1. And 1 times 1, which is 1. And 1 over 1 is the same as 1, right? So my answer for number 8 is just 1. Now for number 9, it says a paper recycling bin has dimensions shown. Use the expression s to the 3rd power, or s cubed, where s represents the length of a side, to find the volume of a bin. So if this is my side right here, right, and it says s to the 3rd power is basically my formula, that means I'm just going to do 1/2, and in parentheses, is to the 3rd power, right? Oh, there you go, to the 3rd power. And remember, when I have 1/2 to the 3rd power, that's the same as 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. So if you figure this out, you'll have your answer. And remember, when you're talking units, it's going to be meters cubed. So what is 1 times 1 times 1? Well, that just equals 1. And what's 2 times 2 times 2? So figure that out, you'll have your answer for number 9. Okay, so this next one, it says refer to the graphic novel frame below. So we have all this information here, right? It's looking like admission for adults is $12.50, for youth is $7.50. Admission and movie pass is $18.50 and $13.50. And family night prices after 5 p.m. on Friday. Individual admission, all ages $7. Individual movie passes, all ages $7.50. So it says, what is the total cost for one individual admission and one individual movie pass on family night? Well, we have family night right here, and it says, again, it says individual admission and, right, that means basically plus one individual movie pass. So over here, if we have an individual admission, that's $7, right? I don't know why I can't see my writing anymore. 1 second. Okay, so what you need to do on this is find out the admission price, which is $7, right? Because it just tells me that. $7. And I'm going to add it together. I don't know why my thing is lagging now. To the movie pass, which is $7.50, right? So what is $7 plus $7.50? Well, whatever that is, it's going to be your answer for number A, or for letter A. Now, after that, it tells me the expression 1450x can be used to find the total cost. And it says X stands for number of tickets, okay? So what does it cost for 3 tickets? Well, now I know what X equals. It says 3. So I'm just going to take 1450. Why is my pencil laggy now? And I'm going to multiply it by 3. You know what? Let me erase. Oh, great. The whole thing erased. I'm not sure what's going on here, guys, but it's just 1450. My program's acting funky. 1450. Let me pause this and see if I can get it. So I don't know why my pencil's lagging right now. Might be my batteries, but 1450 times 3 is going to be my answer. So once you figure that out, you'll have your answer there. Remember, 1450 is almost 50 cents. I'm sorry, $15, right? So if you do 15 times 3, you get $45. And you would just subtract 150 from that if you wanted to. That's one way to do it, like in your head. But yeah, work it out. You'll be able to get there, guys. That was number 10. All right, number 11 says Julian earns $13.50 per hour. His company deducts 23% of his pay each week for taxes. Julian uses the expression, so it gives you the expression here. 0.77, right? Because that's 77%. That's what 100 minus 23% is. Times $13.50 per hour to compute his earnings after taxes for the hours he works. So it tells you the equation, which is right here, right? This is actually my equation that I'm going to use to figure out my answer. Now I need to figure out, well, I have all the numbers I need. I just don't have the H. But after reading through, to compute his earnings after taxes for the hours, H stands for hours, he works. What will be his earnings after taxes if he works 40 hours? So now I know H stands for 40. Or it's going to be 40 because it's 40 hours right here. So that's going to be how I figure out my answer. So 0.77 times 1350 times your hours, right? Remember, you do parentheses first when you're doing PEMDAS. All right, number 12, you're just going to do the same thing. Use these numbers right here to answer the questions. So you know Z equals 8, so you're going to fill it in, right? I'm going to say 4Z. Let's see if my pencil works now. 4. No, it's still not working. Oh, there it is. Times Z, which is 8. Plus 8 minus 6. There we go. All right, so once you work that out, you'll have your answer. Same thing for these two. And number 15, this is the last one that's a little tricky. It can be tricky. To find the area of a trapezoid, use the expression half h, b1 plus b2, where h represents the height, b1 represents the base, or top base, and b2 represents the bottom base. So what's the area of the trapezoid? So we have 1/2 times height. My height is right here. All right, and this is something we learned earlier in the year. So 1/2 times my height. My height is right here. It's 2, right? Because that's the one that goes up and down. So 1/2. I'm figuring out my pencil. It's just lagging for some reason. Times 2. And then I do whatever's in my parentheses, which is base 1 plus base 2. So base 1 is my top base, which is 4. Plus Oh my gosh, this is frustrating writing like this. Plus 3. So this is my equation. If you solve that, you'll have your answer. All right, and this right here, this half, it's the same as dividing all this by 2. So if you don't want to do the half and you want to do all this part first and then divide by 2, it's the same thing. All right, guys, that is my help for today's homework. Hopefully you guys won't have any issues. Have a good day.